It dominated the news coverage this week, the conclusion of the Mueller report, but by the reaction of most Democrats and many in the media, you might have gotten the impression it didn't find much of anything that we should worry about. Of course, that's not remotely true. In his letter, Attorney General Barr confirmed once again that Russia interfered in the 2016 election, and intelligence agencies have repeatedly warned that they will try to do it again in 2020. Washington Post is reporting two former top CIA officials have compiled briefing books for candidates, in part to combat foreign election interference. But is the current administration doing enough to secure American elections? Eric O'Neill is a former FBI counterintelligence operative. He's author of a new book, Gray Day, My Undercover Mission to Expose America's First Cyber Spy, which recalls his role in catching Robert Hanssen, one of the most notorious and deleterious traitors in American history. Eric, I'm really excited to talk about your book. I've seen the movie that dramatized your incredible story, Breach, like a million times. But first, I want your perspective on what we know Russia has done, is still doing, and could do again. We call it meddling. To hear some tell it it's really bad and effective, to listen to others, it amounts to nothing more than mischief and we're overblowing it. What do you think?
No, it's what Russia has done is very dangerous. In the intelligence game, we call it disruption. So what they're doing is they're taking a time in our society here in the United States when we're at a lot of division, and they're churning that up and causing more of it. And the way they're doing it is with very targeted and careful cyber attacks, and they will continue to do it until we find a way to stop them.
Well, so let's talk about what happened at Trump Tower in 2016. It's the stuff of movies, but where your story is a thriller, sounds to a lot of people more like a slapstick comedy. Trump's son-in-law, campaign manager meet with a Russian singer's business manager who says he has dirt on Hillary Clinton. Mueller evidently did not think that this amounted to collusion. In your experience, was it stupidity or conspiracy?
Let's call it naivety. It was a really bad idea for them to meet in a very high-profile place with a bunch of Russians that they clearly didn't vet, and they certainly didn't talk to anybody who had any conception of counterintelligence or good opposition research before meeting with them. They never should have. It was stupid.
So back when you were at the Bureau, and you read about this in Gray Day, you were physically following Robert Hanssen around Virginia and D.C. to watch him make drops to his Russian assets. Now the playing field is cyber. Years ago, Hanssen warned of the Bureau's inadequacies when it came to cyber threats. By your assessment, are we sufficiently prepared now?
So that's a great question, Essie. I go into this in detail in Gray Day, and I use the 2016 election as a benchmark for what it's going to look like in the future. During that election attack, Russia was able to use a number of different sophisticated methods to get into people's email accounts, get into computer systems, and cause a massive amount of damage. They're continuing to do it. So can I throw a statistic out? During the 2018 elections, right, the midterm elections, a threat research company, so Carbon Black, a company I work with, we did an analysis of the dark web. Now, the dark web is where all the bad guys sell their data, and found 81 million voter records that's out of databases from 20 different states for sale. Now, if you buy that, you know the names of the people and who they might vote for. You can send very targeted influence campaigns against them. That's just in 2018. And I don't see that we've taken good steps to protect ourselves since then. So I'm very worried for 2020.
I want to ask you personally, you left the Bureau after taking Hanssen down, despite really having wanted to become an agent for a long time. I'm wondering, do you regret leaving then, just considering how big some of these threats have now become, how involved you could have been inside? I know you've been involved in the private sector, but from the inside.
Yeah, thank you for that question, Essie. I'm still a patriot. I still want America to come out on top. And these attacks are directly against our democracy. And if I could still be in the FBI and doing something, I would. But I'm in the private industry now. I'm working in security. I'm working in cybersecurity. And I'm doing that same work. I'm trying to bring counterintelligence to cyber. And I want to stop these attacks.
Well, it's so important, and that's why the book is so important. Not only is it a great, thrilling read about a really important moment, it's just really important for today. So, Eric, thanks so much. The book is Gray Day, my undercover mission to expose America's first cyber spy. That's it for me tonight, but make sure you stick around for Van Jones. He'll be speaking with 2020 presidential hopeful Pete Buttigieg. Young mayor is having a moment. Don't miss him on The Van Jones Show. That's next on CNN.